Hello, and welcome back to Therapist Plays Disco Elysium. Okay, in this episode, we finally actually conclude the storyline with Suna and the children. Yes, no more tangents, no more side stories. This truly is the last thing that we really needed to do before we actually go and finish the game. And I will say, what a conclusion it was. I think that this is a point where we got to know these characters a lot more intimately because we did something for them that actually earned them opening up to us, which turns out to be quite a healing moment for them and for Suna and for us, and also for Kim, but he probably would never admit it. So I really enjoyed seeing how all of this played out, all of the stuff that it's been building up to, and the reveal that we get to see about what this actually means for the broader world of Disco Elysium. So, last side quest before the end of the game. I'm so excited. I'm desperate to see how everything plays out and, to give this series the finale that it so deserves. So, with that all said, I hope you enjoy. Hello, and welcome back. All right, it's time to finish out this last quest before the end of the game. And I'm excited. I'm excited because there's been a lot of build-up to what are we going to find here with Suna and the kids and the church and the mystery surrounding all of it. You know, this is a depressing world. Well, our world, but I mean more specifically the world of Disco Elysium. And to me, it seems like in this world, everybody's got to latch onto something. You know, there's got to be a better explanation for what we see than just what it appears to be, which is like kind of not a lot of hope really left in the world. So there has to be something else, right? There has to be like something mystical, something bigger than us, something that like ties together why things fall apart. And because the real explanation is often quite soberingly disappointing. In fact, it may even be part of the reason why so many people succumb to addiction in this world and our own. The real explanation is tough, a cold dose of reality, which is the world that Kim lives in, and that's why he's our rock. But I think even he's kind of invested in this storyline at this point. He wants to see what else there is too. So let's do it. Let's figure it out. What's going on? What's the mystery?
Yes. What is it?
A 72%er. And I did promise that I'm going to succeed this check.
Everything disappears. You are draped in silence like a drowning man staring into his puny little headspace.
Okay. Here we go. All that work paid off.
And then the pressure changes.
What does it mean?
It feels like flying on an aerostatic, or when your ears pop, or like a subtle difference in the atmosphere, a weather change hanging in the air.
Interesting.
What if the sound you're looking for is too low for you to hear it?
Suna. Take off the headphones. What if we just need a better sound system? Yes! This is where the kids get involved.
Better sound system? All right, but where would we get one?
I know just the place.
Suddenly, a rhythmic beat permeates the walls, causing a small patch of decorative stucco to crumble onto the wooden floor.
Let's fucking go.
We should really allocate some renovation funds to this place.
Murmurs the lieutenant, inspecting the damage done to the arabesques.
No. What they really should do is shut down the disco men for disturbing neighborhood peace.
But it is the disco men who can help.
You mean the speed freaks?
Yes. She closes her eyes as more dance music invades the holy silence of the sanctuary.
Of course. The speed freaks. They have a fantastic sound system. And you think they would help me?
Yes. Their dynamic is a bit like mine, like Suna and Kim versus myself and the speed freaks. We all have the same goals, overarching goals, but our pathways are very different. They would if you wouldn't mind them moving in.
I guess I could live through a week or two of peaceful coexistence.
I think Suna's actually going to become a speed freak herself.
Brilliant negotiating there, detective. as always.
That's right. All this hard work has actually paid off. Like, we're seriously bringing people together and healing the nation. Oh, great. I'll go talk to them.
Sure. Let me know how it goes.
Okay.
Thanks. Off.
Leave you alone now. Yes! I'm so close to cracking the mystery. I'm putting all of my hope into this, as I believe Harry would as well. Like I said, there's got to be something more to invest in. Like, if I just look around at everything, we had the Code de Mamadakwa stuff. Like, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something more than all these fucking politics. It's all too raw and real and depressing. There's got to be more than just my own cold perception of reality. Let's spice it up with some drugs. Look at that. My man's even getting athletic out here. There's got to be something more to this mystery as well. Something tangible.
Hi,
I'll talk to the leader first.
So, how are things going?
I'm here to talk about the church.
What's the deal?
Good news! I managed to convince Suna. She's okay with you guys moving in, but on one condition. She needs your speakers for her project.
We are grateful, Topman. You're an augury of a new era of Nordic dance music.
The Speed Freak smiles, happier than he's ever been before. Yes! You're going to have to share a space for a couple of weeks until she gets her research finished.
That's fine. We can manage.
Okay.
And you're still sure about keeping our little side business, right?
You mean the illegal drug lab? There'll be no shady shenanigans in the church. Only love and anodic dance music. That's right. I have to be a good role model for these kids.
Fine. We can make do. It's going to take us a bit to move our stuff inside. A couple of hours, maybe. Come check back later. Let's get moving.
Oh, don't tell me I have to wait longer. Oh, come on! I've been waiting for, like, literally months in real world time. There's got to be... This has got to... Come on. Come on. Oh, okay. They set up quick.
Yeah, it's all set up, man.
Yes!
You can already imagine 1,000 people in here. 10,000.
No, I can't. That's... I don't think 10,000 could fit in here. He waves his hands in an unbelievably lame, non-hardcore manner. Wow.
Ecstatic vibrations. Totally transcendent. And I've finished setting up the new compressor too.
He looks at the imposing black box in the corner that's churning out the sound.
Now, the only thing left to do is the name of the club. Will you do the honours, detective?
Yes. What do you propose? Acele. What would you suggest the name? I gotta get Kim. I gotta get Kim involved.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't build a club, and I wouldn't name it either.
Okay, Kim. Well, if you happened to be in a position where you were involved in the building of a club, and you were capable of having fun in this situation, what would you name it?
An underground place with no name? Sounds like something the Crabman would say.
We're not going with anything the Crabman would say.
Why not? The Crabman has ideas, Acele. Ideas from another level of consciousness.
That's right, Kim. You have to bring your consciousness to a different level to get in touch with this.
I don't care. I don't like the Crabman, and I don't like his ideas. His ideas are spooky. Next, please.
Okay, well, I kind of have to get Suna involved. Let's see what her opinion is on this. She's basically a co-owner of the club.
I don't.
Same fucking energy as Kim, like I said.
Good. We have too many opinions anyway.
Okay, well, what about Acele? She's bring some reason into this.
How about something simple? Like the club?
Too modern. And too ironic. We don't want ironic. We want real. Real and true and beautiful. Like a morning after the rave.
Okay, well, what do you think, Andre? You got any fucking ideas? You better be decisive here. Don't wish-wash this.
The name. Everything I managed to come up with sounds just wrong.
We've got opinions on what other people's ideas.
Andre's overthinking it.
Yes, you should do it, detective. It would be good for the signs.
The Speed Freak with yellow beads around his neck looks at me.
Noid's right. You've helped us so much. It's the right thing to do.
Okay, I will come up with a name, but I'm going to see what Noid has to say first.
The amnesia.
Like I can't remember the name of the club, Amnesia.
Amnesia! It's not amnesia, guys.
Egghead, you must have a lot of ideas. It's got to be hardcore.
Yakokata! Yakokata! The place to be!
This man, his powers have only amplified now that he has the space and vibes to truly become transcendent. The freak with the large head yells from the stage, waving his hand in the air.
Yeko Qatar, the zone of ecological catastrophe. That's too morbid, Egg. Got anything else?
Yeah, I thought you were down with communism.
Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega!
Okay, the vibes are important here, Egghead, but we need ideas. Okay, this is a brainstorming session. He's like, Egghead's like the personality hire, like so you have around, and I do not at all mean that disparagingly. By the way, like that is so important for a dynamic. You can't all have eggheads, like literal eggheads, not like this kind of egghead, but like people who just have ideas and crunch numbers. Like you actually need people with some fucking charisma because they can appeal to like not the idea that makes the most sense, not the idea that's the most marketable, but the one that's got the most stickiness, the most grippiness, because they know people.
No, it has to be bigger than hardcore. Yes, it has to be even bigger than hardcore to the mega. It has to be bigger than the scene.
Okay, so Kim doesn't care. Suna doesn't care. Acele wants to go for something simple. Noid wants something a little too too many layers to it. Andre can't think of anything, and Egghead he's a little too lost in the sauce. So it is up to us, Harry Dubois, to come up with the name. I'm actually curious what he comes up with. I think I've come up with a name. If you were going to distill everything that we have experienced so far into a name, it's got to be something like depressing, right? Like it's got to be, I don't know, maybe something related to like the precinct or something like that. Maybe he'll be inspired by, what do you call it? The tapestry back here, or not the tapestry, the mural, whatever it is, the artwork, the lady.
You have? Well, what's the name?
Oh, okay. Well, we get some options here. Revishral West is a little too much like Acele's idea. No Truce with the Furies. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not cool. But it's a little too esoteric, I think. And I don't even think Harry knows what it means. I don't know what it means. It's got to be Disco Elysium. It's so obvious now when I think about it. How could it literally be anything else? This is a disco ball here.
Like that DeLorean word for the world, you mean? Elysium.
Yes. Oh, DeLorean. So it was kind of inspired by the Dolores Day.
But Disco Elysium, isn't it wacky? Disco's kind of gone, isn't it? Forgotten.
Aren't we all as well?
Past is the future, but the future is dead.
Damn it. How can he be so right?
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful and brave. Like we want it to be.
Yes.
And short. And memorable.
Okay, guys. This is developers gassing themselves up here.
It's settled then. Everyone welcome to Disco Elysium.
Holy shit, it's actually canon, the Disco Elysium. A light beam washes over the dance floor, bathing it in a violet blue.
Andre breaks into frenzied dance-like motion to celebrate the name. Someone turns up the beat.
Yeah, crank it.
You should go with the flow. Join in on the experience.
Yes. Yes, I should. Let's get a foot tapping.
It feels good. It feels right. But what is this? What is this thing that Andre is doing with his limbs?
I don't care. Let's move on with the questions. Or no. I think I thought this meant I don't care. Let me get down with the groove, but I think this would move us forward. So, what are you doing, Andre? He's mesmerized by this.
I'm dying. dancing.
He performs yet another strange pattern of moves, but it doesn't look very cool or modern. Honestly, it looks kind of lame. We should talk about it. We should talk about your so-called dancing.
Yes, my man.
He jumps up and down with glee, his moves punctuated by the stroboscopic flash of club lights.
Talk? What is there to talk about if you can express yourself with moves?
I'm actually curious if Harry's got moves. We know he can't really sing, unless you consider that singing is the unburdening of the soul, in which that case we are actually very good at that. I just don't think a lot of people really enjoyed it. Dancing is a kind of unburdening of the physical form in that sense, then. Which, if that's your goal, then you can't actually be bad at dancing either.
Audio waves thump against your ribcage. The speaker setup makes everything sound much better, but the beat is still so weak.
Oh, this is another one of these. It's basically a 3%er with. I'm getting a dance fever. I'm getting the fever. I'm getting the head rush. And I found the melody. Fuck it, no words, just dance. Let's go.
You close your eyes and dream of the shapes your body should form to bring strange music into life. For now, such ferocity of motion is beyond you.
Yeah, feel the moment.
But just imagine the moves you could pull to this futuristic beat.
Puts a grin on your face just to think about it. Even a failed attempt gets the juices flowing and repairs some of the damage done by battles lost. If you up the dose and truly dance, who knows what will happen?
Oh, I love this though. Actually, this is like so therapeutic. Man, yeah, like this could be like some real somatic experiencing stuff for Harry. And I love the limbic system chiming in because it's literally giving voice to, like, Harry has racked his body over years of substance abuse and probably poor dieting and poor sleep and poor mental health, which also affects all of that stuff. We've already kind of explored quite thoroughly the relationship between his like mind and body, like the way he sort of communicates with it. We've been trying to treat it better, and but there's still an element of like command. You know, I command you to be able to keep up with me. But breaking loose like this, you can see electrochemistry chimes in. Electrochemistry, we've usually seen chime in with like quite negative things. Like it wants us to do drugs and it wants us to like get in fights and shit. But its agenda is not to harm us. Its agenda is to make us feel good. It just happens to get involved with things that, like, the feel-good aspect of it is sort of overtuned. It wants us to, like, feel really good with, like, speed and feel alive with physical conflict. And so you can see here that, like, this is actually a moment where, like, the electrochemistry, the limbic system, could attach itself to that same feeling, but for something that's actually good for you. Right? And treating it that way. It's just like some good substitution, right? This could be quite healing for Harry.
Salvation.
The only thing that could really damage our psyche is if someone tells us that it's also lame. I guess we can't. I guess there's... yeah, we can't like do any better at it, but there's no way that we actually are... and then we're not passing that one. Okay, well, let's ask him about his hair.
It's to express my individuality.
This would be very rude of us to say. Kind of like what I was just talking about. Like, why do we want to stifle his inner child? That, I mean, what, he's like a teenager? He's still a child. Like, associating freedom of expression and that sort of thing with things that are stupid is going to make him convinced that, like, a picture of maturity is to be, like, unexpressive and unemotional, which we don't want. Is it important for you to be an individual? It's a very therapist question.
Of course it is. Otherwise, I'd just be another poor guy with no education and no money. General issue, man. Now I'm all that, and I have radical spikes.
That's completely fair.
Maybe it was a bad idea. Anyway.
Don't question it. It's good. That's it for now.
Goodbye, officer.
Okay. All right. Mystery time.
Yes, what is it?
How's the project going? I see that your neighbors have moved in, but all I hear is anodic dance music.
What? What did you say?
She leans closer, eyes knitted together in a puzzling expression. You can barely hear her over the thumping bass of anodic dance music. I said, how's the project going?
I can't hear you. The music is too loud.
She shouts, pointing at the enormous speaker that's churning out the sound. The project! How is it going?
Oh, the project! It's not going well.
Her face lights up for a second before she gives you an exaggerated headshake. Why?
There's that guy. I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so that I can route the audio signal through the mixer into the speakers.
She points at Egghead, who's raving behind his turntables on a brightly lit stage. I want to see that conversation. I had a rough time interpreting Egghead. I want to see Asuna try. I gotta roleplay this one. Can you repeat that?
Egghead! A 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input. Okay?
Why don't you just ask him?
He doesn't listen to me. He only ever seems to care about hardcore and Yikukata. A place to be, apparently.
She's listening at least. I'll speak to him. I'll see what I can
Thanks. Maybe you can get through his magic rhymes.
do.
Let me know how it goes.
Okay. Oh boy. I swear, if there's another fucking Egghead puzzle.
Denying church, the place to be. Make some noise, my church people.
Large speakers are set up behind the young man, blasting a familiar song.
Vibrations thump through your blue soul. The music sounds much better in the church.
Okay.
A hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane, tangled in its branches, something bronze flutters in the wind.
That was the tape.
He stands on stage behind a table, nodding along to the music and waving his hand in the air. In front of him, the audio mixer, one reel spinning. The other reel deck is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side, you see an auxiliary line in with the number 4.5 written next to it.
How do you like it in the church?
Yeah! Back on the case! No disgrace! Bring it down the party place! The first page of the second chapter!
Okay. Can you please route Suna's signal through your speakers?
To the mega! Yeah! I can route it through auxiliary! What kind of a cable does she use? 3.5 or 4.5?
It's 3.5. No doubt about it. It's on the ground.
She uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary lining is 4.5 millimeter. These two don't mix.
What?
Oh no, we're going to be in the church forever.
Don't sound too excited by that, kid.
Don't worry. I have an adapter for it right here.
Oh. He searches for the cable on the ground and picks it up.
Hang on. This is a 4.5. We're all good, people!
With a grin, he sticks a plug into the auxiliary line in. You hear a satisfying click.
Whoa, thank God. Adapters noticeably degrade the sound quality.
Okay. Where'd you pick that up, Harry?
Great! Someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it all set up. Can we turn the music off, please?
Ooh. That actually might be a challenge. Egg, the music.
Everybody! Don't panic! I'm going to turn off the on-off for just a sec.
Just
For
a second.
Special scheduled event. The on-off will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. All right, go tell her that Egghead is ready to rave to her tunes, and then I'll turn off the music.
Okay. Oh my God, we're so close. I actually can't believe it. Let me see what Noid says.
You got us in, cop. I can't believe you got us in.
He looks around the hall, examining the
With
carpentry.
wonder in his sharp eyes.
Between you and me, I don't know if you've noticed this about me, I'm a little suspicious of authority. You really came through for the hardcore underground.
Oh, that's got to be really nice to hear as Harry as well. Like, really nice. It's hard. It's nice for me to hear as, like, I've been attempting to get Harry involved with the youth this whole game. This whole game. And I've only made little bits of headway. But actually, there's, like, nothing better than getting through to someone who has that suspicion of authority or whatever. And I experience this actually all the time because it's kind of interesting, but like there's a lot of people I do therapy with who don't want to do therapy with me, actually, right? Like they're there because, you know, they're in our program. Some people are on probation and probation wants them to be in therapy, whatever, right? However they come across my, my service. But there's plenty of people who like do not want this. They don't want to be in therapy. They don't trust it. And like they associate you with authority, right? Because it's part of the chain. The court says I have to be in treatment. The probation says I have to be in treatment. The program says that therapy is a part of this. You must be a part of the authority link. And I like often am trying to get across that like I'm not an authority figure in your life. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. I'm not even really going to like say that you have to be in therapy if you don't want to meet. We're not going to meet against your will, right? But it's such a nice thing when you finally like get the point across that my goal is not to enforce anything. And by being like even just an empathetic listener, it's not that I'm asking questions about your life to like pry into it or because I'm going to get this information to people you don't want. Like my interest is just in helping, you know. My interest is mostly just in reflecting. It's not even giving my input most of the time. It's just like, hey, as we've been talking about things, I've noticed that there's a pattern of your life in this way. And let me reflect that to you. And what do you think about that? And let's work from there, right? On changing that pattern. It's very like neutral, my agenda. And I don't always get there. But there are times where I come across a Noid who like will say something like this, who's like, you know, I was really suspicious of you and therapy or this whole process, but I've really come around to it. And I'm glad that I stuck it out and that you stuck it out with me. I mentioned this like way early in the playthrough, that my impression of this dynamic is that people who have a resistance to authority or to whatever, it can come from a place of like, they don't just distrust you because they find authority in general distrusting. It's like they've been taken advantage of, or they may not have had the best role models themselves, and authority figures have always been ones who want to set limits in their life, control the direction of their life, right? Whatever it is. And so there's just like a lack of trust in that. And so they'll push and they'll resist and they'll sort of like see where the boundaries of that relationship are, to the point where it's like, let me see how far I can push you away so that I can prove that you never really were invested, you know? And so you'll find that the people who most need connection are the ones who push the hardest away from it. Because when I come in and I'm like, hey, I'm just like a person who's here to help you totally, and I have no other agenda, they're like, what's your angle? No angle, that's the angle. It's just like kind of a hard sell, right? And so often they will push and fuck you, I don't want to talk to you, whatever. Until the point where they're like, you know, I've tried to push this person away. I've been very difficult, very resistant, and they're still here and they still seem invested in me. So I guess I can trust it. And that's a very special moment because you know they've healed something about their perspective, like as maybe this situation has with Noid. Like, who knows what kind of situation he comes from? Maybe cops have been really bad to him. Maybe his parents were really not present or neglectful or something. We can see also that like all of these kids have like a very inherent need for self-expression. I think that in a world like this, there's not very many opportunities for it. School doesn't really seem to be a thing or an avenue for personal development for a lot of them. There's not much entertainment besides drugs. There's like personal style, that you can use, but like it doesn't seem like there's a lot of natural bridges to like from one area of maturity to another, young to adult, right? And so to see that like he pushed and he pushed and he pushed and he was resistant and we stuck with him, and to get this comment where he's like, "You really came through," not just like because you needed something from us, but because you actually like connected with our mission and you see our need for expression not as something stupid and lame and weird, but like essential to our literal survival, our mental and social survival. I think that's really special because I've had moments like that, and it is. I know it is, and I know that Harry is someone who, maybe he's been part of the problem before, and he has been the worst kind of authority figure, but he's certainly working on it. He's really working on it, and I bet he appreciates this.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
Well, Kim, all of the things that I just explained. I hope you can see it too one day.
Andre is busy cutting some slightly less lame, but still quite ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. Acele using her contact mic to listen to a tree underwater.
God, she's so
The
cool.
one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat, while the stained glass window behind him is rattling from the bass.
These kids got spunk. I admire that. Oh, this is to Kim. Better here than in the tent. It wasn't safe. I'm genuinely into the hardcore lifestyle you wouldn't understand. I'm a corrupt cop, Kim. This is a corrupt scheme. I did it for mankind, for all of mankind. I think the most genuine is that we did do it for the kids. What the fuck else do they have like that they're working towards? This is like a big moment in their lives. This is probably like a turning point in their lives. One of the like aspects of positive psychology is having like strong core memories. Like if you have a severe addiction, none of your memories really stand out except negative ones. Time you got in trouble, time you were in danger, time you got arrested, time you lost all your drugs, whatever it is, right? Like it's a lot of negative memories, and that like leads to a lot of depression. There's a pretty tangible link between like having core positive memories that you can reflect on and are turning points for your development and being able to access those, Like for me, it's like, oh, when I moved to Europe as a teenager, like huge turning point. Lots of positive memories associated with it. It's like core to the foundation of my identity. It's half of the fucking name of this channel is because I like experienced something very different and it like really stuck with me. We just created a positive core memory for these kids in a world that does not offer them naturally very often, it seems. And I think that that's worth doing, no matter what.
Okay.
I wish Kim would understand.
What he means is, you can't possibly have handed them this real estate for such a flimsy reason. Then again, whatever keeps your nose out of the bottle and on the job.
Yeah. I really feel like it's part of wanting to just be to rehabilitate the idea of an authority figure to these kids, but also like in an existential way, allowing them a space to have fun that's not restricted and is not a tent on the ice. Why are you so suspicious of everything?
Suspicious people are esoteric people. We don't go around spilling everything to Johnny Law. They don't call me Noid for nothing. It took us setting out for this whole enterprise to get our science synced.
Why are you called Noid?
It's short for paranoid.
I really should have seen that one coming. What are you suspicious of?
It'd be easier to list stuff I'm not suspicious of. I'm not suspicious of sound and colour. Mechanics and chemistry also have a trueness about them. Most anything else deceives. Wants to steal your life away.
This is a good, dangerous line of questioning. You should prod him on.
What are the most suspicious
I
things?
don't have a top 10 list of things I'm most suspicious of, but if I had one, the left-right complex would be number 1. Number 2 would be their sole accomplishment, the pig-wheat paradigm.
Okay, I need to break into this philosophy. Tell me more about this left-right
I
business.
prefer not to. Both ask the wrong questions. Any spark of light from either one is accidental. Their combined movement's only concern is producing enough pig and wheat for everyone. The end goal of humanity. The original mistake was assuming that words have more being than bodies. That's what led us astray. Far from our true lives, but we may yet find a way back.
Whatever this true life is, you feel it's the real centerpiece of this mythology.
I'm struggling a little bit with parsing the meaning of this. It's very esoteric of you, paranoid. Noid. What's suspicious about the production of pork and wheat?
It's our only shit. We should make better use of not being animals or cereal grain ourselves.
He's passionate. He's passionate and he's got beliefs. And he's not wrong to feel that there is something wrong with the world. I just don't know what he's really attached that to. Should I question further or should I just relate? Yeah, it's only our shit and we fucking suck at it.
Correct.
Are we in? Are we in?
You can't help but doubt your sincerity in this matter.
Shit.
There is no other way. You are a police officer.
I was being sarcastic. No, I can't break that. I can't break that too. Don't assume I like the status quo because I'm a cop. I'm a cool cop, okay?
Precisely. The status quo doesn't need to be loved.
I can't ask this. That's like... Come on, Harry. Well, that was certainly stimulating. I want to ask you about something
His
else.
eyes flicker.
What do you think about the
It's
church?
a miracle of carpentry. Their bodies carved into total shapes. Now it can be something more.
How old do you think this church is?
That's right. The first settlers built it, plus 6 more like it, on the coast here. Was one of the first things they did. Must have been really scared of something, but I understand. Alone on an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves and nature. Pre-industrial quantities of solitude. The sea, perhaps something more fundamental.
I do appreciate that he is like a critical thinker. He's got kind of a poetic perspective on things.
He means something paranatural. He must...
I would want to build a safe place for myself and my own as well.
His voice echoes in the wooden cavern of the church. I'm coming around on Noid. What do you think of the stained glass window?
I don't. Fucker giving me the evil eye.
You wanted to get inside the church and now you don't like
I
it.
didn't know it was in here. We have to get rid of it. Dismantle it. Can't dance with a giant mass murderer looking at ya. Not a good look for the club.
I mean, it's kind of as hardcore as it gets if you if you want to be real about it.
Mellow, man, mellow. No one's a mass murderer. This is a house of love.
Fair.
Mass murder on the floor.
That's what I just said. How could it be any more hardcore than that? She's the innocence of humanism. Humanism seems to be a pretty big deal. Isn't she supposed to be an embodiment of the world spirit? Who isn't accused of being a mass murderer these days? I'm gonna inquire. Would you say that she was human?
I like this question, cop man. She did not live the life of a human. She lived like someone who's playing a game. The life of an operator. That's not the life that humans live. She was adored. Humans aren't. I don't know about you, but they hate me. And they do not think I'm innocent or some shit like that.
Oh, Noid. Noid. I want to wrap you up in a bundle of affirmation and acceptance, you sweet boy. Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, suspicion, paranoia, it is like the assumption that like nothing starts off genuine. Like other people, their intentions are not genuine. You have, like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting because you feel like you have to constantly interpret and peel back and inquire about the genuineness of everyone's opinion and everyone's action. And like, it is exhausting, right? To constantly feel like whatever I'm receiving visually, emotionally, has some other angle to it, and I have to detect what the angle is, right? They're more likely to really get fixated on the paralanguage aspect of things, like, you know, I've talked about this in other places, but I haven't talked about it in this series. But like, you know, if I were to say like, you're late, that's like language, and I'm implying very discreetly that like you were not where you were supposed to be on time. But there's a paralanguage that people can read into that, which is like the second sentence that says like, and I think you're a lazy person and you don't have good punctuality and you make bad decisions. And like, I didn't say any of that. I may think that, but I may also just be pointing out that like you were late this one time. But the suspicion is like, oh, I can't trust that. There's all these other things on top of it. And so coming back to my example, when I say like, hey, I'm here to help you, they hear, I'm here to help myself, right? I want to get to know you. You want to take away my privacy, right? Like they hear that and respond to it. And I feel really sad for Noid because what he's interpreting from everyone is like always something negative. And it feels like that's all I can really trust is just my intuition about what people really think and say about me, which can lead to this kind of like fundamental paranoia. I don't know what you're talking about. I have thousands of fans. I'm surrounded by love and support all the time. That's not true. They hate this too, and they point to myself.
Oh, they loved her. They put all their love in her and forgot all about the rest of us.
The young man lets go of the suspenders and they hit his chest with a slap. Isn't she supposed to be the embodiment of a world spirit?
The world spirit does not have a body. It has organs. Hardcore is an organ of the world spirit. This Arno van Eyck is an organ. The carpentry and glass cutting that built this house are also organs. She's a thief, if you ask me. An organ thief. All innocences are.
But she's the innocence of humanism, which seems to be a pretty big deal.
Humanism leads to eating sugar and pigs. Humanism was invented to mass produce billions of humans. Billions of humans can mass produce hundreds of billions of pigs.
And many, many more tons of sugar.
She liked games. Her legacy, the thing we're living, isn't real life. It's a strategy for some kind of victory against a long dead opponent. But, yo, I'm only the Noid. What do I know?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time following the particulars of this. But I gotta respect the Noid for having conviction. She's pretty though.
She invented the beauty you're feeling. She and her glass cutters and iconographers. You set the standard, all right. Then you meet it. It's effective like that, but it is also very soft of core. That so-called beauty of hers.
It's anything but soft core. It's terrifying. Doesn't Harry have some sort of like built-in fear of Dolores Day? I seem to remember that. It would make sense that he's terrified of it.
You may be onto something, Copper Man. She's got those mass murdering hips.
Yeah, but like, who isn't accused of mass murdering these
No one
days?
says Arno van Eyck is a mass murderer. The anodic pioneer Rietveld is not a mass murderer. He is not accused of mass murder. Likewise, no one says Jermaine Egghead or Andre are mass murderers. You can live entirely outside that suspicion. Billions of people go about not being guilty of mass murder. Just not her.
I now feel stupid for asking because it's quite a reasonable answer there. I do feel something terrible about
There
it.
is. She is a party repellent and must be taken down before we can begin partying in here.
No, that's not it. It's something more. Something closer to your skin.
Say nothing for now. Stare grimly into the distance.
Speed Freak looks the same way. It is dark there in the back of the church. For a moment, the music echoes strangely.
Yeah, there's something there that I don't think we've really investigated. We'll have to go look at the thing a little more closely. Okay, I'm done talking
What a
about it.
strange choice of words. Caustic. Overflowing with negativity.
I can't help it.
That can't be healthy. What's happening here? Why do you keep coming back to this window?
Ooh. Volition wants us to investigate the loss of morale from that thought. And Harry can deny this. Nothing, everything's okay. Or he can redirect this with some denial. I don't know.
Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't come back to this anymore. Stop talking about it, please.
Oh, wait, no, Volition doesn't want us to investigate. Okay. We are going to reinvestigate it. I have mixed feelings about Volition. Like, going back to what I said about electrochemistry, it just has an agenda. It's not like on our team or off of our team. It's not particularly invested in our downfall or our rehabilitation. It's invested in, like, it has an agenda. It puts us in a mental state that is in competition with other ones. And Volition, its agenda is to keep us, like, our morale up, basically, like to keep us mentally of high constitution. Its agenda is not for us to heal from things. It's kind of to, like, pacify pain. Yeah, keep your morale up, hold yourself together. But it's, like, actually not that interested in, like, deep introspective work, which requires visiting subjects of pain, crossing over them, reintegrating them, reauthoring them, all kinds of stuff that are for therapeutic interest, right? So I have kind of mixed feelings. Obviously, it's like a good voice to listen to a lot of the time, but sometimes I feel like it interrupts what could be really introspective work for Harry, which is like, don't revisit this very important, strange, unexplainable fear that you have that's like deep in your subconscious. And I'm like, no, let's explore that shit. Let's find out what it is and why we've suppressed it and, like, learn about it. It comes with an automatic assumption that painful things are negative, which is kind of interesting. We'll come back to Volition. Okay, we're gonna move on from Noid, but we're kind of curious what you meant about dead bodies.
Bodies are perennial plants. Sigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total.
Spiritual
I
collapse.
saw some piglets suckling their dead mother. Have you heard this one, Cop Man? After a short while, they shuddered and went away. They had sensed that she could no longer see them and that she wasn't like them anymore. What they loved in their mother weren't her body, but whatever it was that made her body live. End of quote. This is an high-quality carcass. The power of anodic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it.
My dude, he's he's got a very interesting perspective on things. What you're saying is religion has stopped being hardcore.
Never was. 3,000-year-old regime of history, built by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. It's false to the core.
The way he says it, the force in false core, is invested with 20 kilotons of disgust.
But you guys said the Ecclesiastes were all about love and hardcore before.
I only said unity. One word. Figures of authority always misquote you.
Damn it! Damn it! We've lost them. now we're bad object again.
Andre doesn't care about the Ecclesiastes. He just wants the operation to run smoothly. And Egg is a demi-beast. You shouldn't listen to what people say. You should listen to what they are.
What the fuck? That's what I said like 20 minutes ago or something. That's his whole thing. I don't listen to what people say. I listen to what I think that they mean, like what they are, what they really are implying by what they say, right? It's like all the paralanguage kind of stuff. When I say this, I just mean like, hey, I'm trying to reconcile something I heard from you before with what I'm hearing now, and they're different. So I'm trying to like clarify for myself your views. Like the paralanguage behind this is like, I'm interested in understanding you. What he hears is you're trying to imply that my beliefs are inconsistent, right? I only said unity, one word. Figures of authority always misquote you, right? Like it creates the suspicion. And it's very, very difficult, like I was saying, to bypass that, because part of the solution of being more clear with what I'm saying becomes evidence that I'm being more and more misleading. Or if I were just to say, oh, you can trust me, that's manipulation. I want to help you. I want something from you. I don't have another agenda. I have an agenda. Like that's what is implied, even though it's not what I mean. And so my approach when there's like that high level of suspicion is like the language stuff it's not always going to get there. It's more action. It's why he trusts that we put together this thing with the church, getting them in here and whatever. There's not I communicate that this is for one thing and you intuit that this is another. It's just action, right? He just showed up for it, which I think was a little more appealing. But you can see that like as we get into conversation, especially because he's kind of hard to understand, we have to ask a lot of questions, and questions feel prying, and they create more opportunity for me to expose myself of having multiple agendas that are not worth trusting. And because I'm asking the questions and an authority figure, it feels like even worse. So like, yeah, this is a bit sad, but this type of person doesn't really come to therapy. They only end up in therapy if there's a situation like I was talking about, like they just kind of have to be there or some condition has put them there. And then we could try to work on it, and sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't, but they don't go to therapy. They don't like seek it out because it's not something that they tend to think of as being like something that's going to help them, because they don't see their suspicion as a negative thing. They see it as like a positive thing that helps them navigate the world. So they're not coming to therapy and saying, I'm suspicious of everybody and I need to stop. They don't want to stop, right? Because it's helping him in his point of view. And so for me to then make that pitch, like, hey, you're really paranoid about everything and it's not helping you. It's leading to like very limited types of relationships and inability to collaborate with people across authority lines, and it makes people hard to understand you, and like all these things. Like if I'm making those pitches, like yeah, then I'm doing like all of the implications of like that this is a negative thing, and his association is that it's a positive thing. So it's kind of a mess. The best that we can do is just like demonstrate our values more so than communicate them in this sense.
But were you wrong? The founding party is okay with everything. Look around. They don't have enough love for the human crew to oppose anything anymore. We're on our own.
That's still a lie. Reassert yourself.
Perfidy. You lied to me. I'm tired of people lying to me. So, authority coming in. We're trying to deactivate our authority characterization to Noid. So I'm going to try to conceal it. It's not going to work. I know it's not going to work, but that wouldn't be cool. I want to be cool. I'm going to try to appeal, and he's going to call me out for it.
Mewling wimp.
I mean, authority called me out for it. And you propose dance music will supplant this system.
Melodic dance music. Regular dance music wasn't hard enough. And yes, I do.
You know what this kind of stuff goes well with.
Don't you have to be on drugs for that, though?
Only a little.
Not cool.
All large human gatherings are narcotic. Ask any such undertaking in history, this included. Chemistry is true to its word.
There is a difference between narcotics and group elation. One kills you, the other does not.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks for chiming in.
The supercharged humanism that the innocentic system has been feeding us on giant city squares, that's not a drug. The sugar and wheat it feeds us is healthy.
Forget it. It would become an imbecilic discussion. You two continue. It's more hardcore that way.
Yeah, I feel so disrespected, Kim. I mean, yeah, okay, he's actually not wrong. This is not a very helpful discussion beyond like my sort of like therapeutic commentary on it. Like we're not making any headway here.
He does not feel left out. In fact, he probably just wanted to say hardcore.
Ooh, I like that though. Yeah, you know what, Kim? You can just get involved. You don't have to pretend like I am that you really care about all this stuff. Okay.
Sure.
He has a lot to talk about, and I'll fucking be here forever if I keep going. So I'm gonna talk to someone else. Maybe we'll come back to it. I kind of want to see what Acele has to say.
She's whistling a melody, her trusty contact mic attached to a wooden pulpit. At the sound of your footsteps, she stops what she was doing and turns to you. Why does that trill sound familiar?
Hey there. I've been recording some new audio from all these beams and rafters. The sounds travelling through the wood are pretty cool. Creaks and stuff. Like you're underwater, you know? But like, underwater inside a tree. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to thank you instead.
Oh, this is like whiplash after talking to Noid. It's like so straightforward. What for?
For getting me and my friends in here. And we even found some new associates, such as they are.
Oh, this is such a great moment for Harry. I knew that we did something good. And Suna doesn't know it, but we've done something good for her too. Getting her around some of these personalities. How's everyone doing?
Good, I think. Noid is getting a read on the place. I think he finds the carpentry very impressive. Andre's been setting up the compressor and dancing. Egghead's been keeping the party up. He's got the stage under control. Sauna, the programmer, she's doing whatever she does. Behind that radio computer of hers. She doesn't talk to us much. And the crabman hasn't shown himself, thank God.
But you notice Suna didn't come and say, like, this music is garbage. She just said it's loud. I actually think that she is benefiting from this. Just the social aspect. Now can you tell me about your associates?
Sure. You helped us out. I can repay the favour. What do you want to know?
Tell me about Tiago. She seems skeptical of the crabman.
Oh, the crabman. Still gives me the creeps the way he moves. But he doesn't actually come down that much, just climbs around the rafters. I just try to stay away from the crabman. But he talks to Noid. They seem to have some thing going on.
What kind of thing?
Beats me. Noid said they get along somehow. They're both crazy enough, I guess.
What does he do up there?
Who knows? He doesn't really answer our questions, see? Not that it's easy to ask them. What are we supposed to do? Yell up at the tower?
Okay. What about the others?
Who do you want to know about?
Tell me about Noid.
He's a four-burger, I guess, like the rest of us. Okay, maybe not Egg, I don't know about him, but Noid and the rest are from Forberg, making the pilgrimage up north to visit the Elysium. He's real hardcore about the lifestyle.
What does he do?
What do you mean, do? Like, for a living?
No, I meant for breakfast, yes.
He's a carpenter, trained and all. He's
Oh,
very
shit.
good. He just doesn't have the mindset to work like that. In a shop somewhere.
What kind of mindset?
He abides by the hardcore, sir. You would have to ask him yourself.
And you?
Sir, I abide by the law.
She gives you a switchblade smile. That's such a good, like, adjective, like a switchblade smile. Like that it came out of nowhere. Like, sir, I abide by the law. Fuck, man. It's such effective writing. I love that. It's such good characterization as well.
A strange feeling. Every now and then, something feels off about the way she speaks. She doesn't change tone, but you feel as though there's more about her than she lets on.
It's a similar kind of thing. She's untrusting of authority for good reasons. And, like, it's going to be very hard, even after demonstrating, you know, our investment in all of this and being kind to her and all of that. And she thanked us, but there's always going to be, like, a distrust of that. And, like, same. I don't trust a lot of authority, like, especially authority figures, because, like, there's a lot of evidence out there that tells me they're not really trustworthy. Even if a very nice one interacted with me, and they have, it's not going to change my opinion overall, right? Like, on a societal level. So I can't blame her for that at all. Can't blame her at all. What's this pilgrimage you're talking
It's just
about?
something poor Forberg kids do every spring. To pass the time, we walk the entire length of Boogie Street, up to Jamrock, or as much as possible.
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know, man. Have you been down Boogie Street? It's a little bewildering.
Let's say I haven't been down Boogie Street.
Okay. Then you should go and take a look, I guess. Boogie Street is cool. It's got a lot of immigrants and all kinds of different people.
Okay. Might just do that if I make it there alive.
Yeah. I hope you do.
All right.
Who do you want to know about?
Tell me about Suna.
Oh, she's a bit odd, I have to say. Doesn't talk much. I'm not really sure how to vibe with her, you know? Seems like she's not in a very good mood most of the time.
I don't know if she's not in a good mood, but she certainly doesn't, like... Her mood's not very readable.
But earlier today, she told me about Welkins. And she seemed oddly happy, like she had some idea with those little creatures. Some artistic idea. I didn't really listen, I was busy with my mic.
Oh, you should have listened. I told you, she's appreciating this. Tell me about Andre.
Andre, he's a cool guy. Doesn't really come off as one, but he is. To me, at least. He takes care of shit. Sorry. I mean, he's got a vision. For what life should be, you know? He tries to push things until everything falls into place. He's an organiser.
What's he organize?
Nothing. But then again, there's nothing to organise around here either. He really wants this church thing to work. Must have taken it as a sign when he found it abandoned like that. Said it was an augury. I don't know where he got that from. Andre's not super intelligent. I've never seen him so psyched about anything though. And he's often psyched. Looks sort of desperate, like it's his last chance or something. Or maybe he was just high. I mean, not that he does drugs, just high, you know?
Relax, girl. We're police officers, but we're corrupt, rotten to the marrow. You can tell us about drugs and shit. I don't give a fuck. What, Harry? I can't. I do want to tell her to relax on that, but I can't. I can't just come out and say I'm corrupt. On live?
Yes. Anyway.
Is Andre your boyfriend?
Yes. Who do you want to know about?
Okay. What's the deal with Egghead?
What do you mean?
What does he think he's doing when he yells all that stuff?
Oh, that. He's the party boy.
Yes, he told me that, but what exactly is a party boy?
Melodic music doesn't really do vocals in the traditional sense. Vocals are thought of as rock. That's to say they're a bit backward. No offence if you like rock music, though. Rock music's cool by me.
No offense taken.
Anyway, even if you don't have vocals, you still need someone to say something every now and then, right? To urge things on. That's where the party boy comes in.
He is the personality hire.
Basically, just stands on the stage and dances and yells how awesome everything is. It's very catchy.
I've got these fucking people locked in.
I understand. People are usually afraid to do things if others aren't already doing them. Dancing makes you dance, like sneezing makes you sneeze, or yawning makes you...
Jan?
Anyway.
He looks around, a little embarrassed of the enthusiasm of his interjection. Kim, just fucking admit it. You're having fun. You're having fun on this little detour. This is exciting to you. You enjoy learning about these kids' lives. You're living vicariously through me talking to them because you're too cool and too professional to do it yourself. And you're living vicariously through them because in your life you are secretly a pinball master, a game board enjoyer, maybe even a sick dancer. And all of that is sort of in conflict with like your profession of being like a very composed intellectual copper man. But let loose, Kim. We're in the presence of otherworldly beings and crabmen and mysterious sound phenomena and cool, totally not depressed, addicted children. Okay, nothing about this needs to be professional. Let's have a little bit of fun, unwind, and get yourself involved without me having to ask you to. Where's he from? How long has he been with you guys?
Actually, we don't know where he's from. Or who he is, really.
Sorry, I didn't mean to crash out on Kim like that. I just want him to have fun. I want him to have as much fun as I'm having.
One time we were out partying somewhere in backwater Forburg. Or maybe even Coal City. I can't remember. Maybe it was Coal City. Egg was yelling along to some jam someone was spinning. All night long. Just kept yelling until he didn't have a shred of voice left. When the sun came up over the mines. There were mines? Yeah. It was in Coal City.
Look at that. Look at that. Core memories. Positive core memories.
Egg came with us. He made this wheezing puppy dog sound all the way back. Couldn't even speak. It was definitely Coal City, because it took us 2 days to walk back to the fort. He just wheezed the whole way. We never really asked why he came with us. Or who he was. I think his name is Jermaine.
He just kind of showed up.
People are sweet.
You can see it must have been a great night. The memory causes her to go silent for a moment or two.
What did I just fucking say? Like, not that long ago. Man, I'm so in tune with these kids. It's crazy. Like, their psychological attachment to one another is built on these kinds of memories as well. Like, not just for them as individuals. But, like, some of my best memories with friends are from, like, nights where things went wrong and we persevered through them or whatever it is, right? Like being able to connect with those things and have people to share them with, like it gives you an identity, you know, in a world that is like one kind of rejecting their identities, but two, not giving them a lot of opportunities to grow or develop them and all of that, right? Like, so they have each other and they have these shared memories and they have like maybe some more opportunities to develop new ones by doing something cool like this. Like, it is healing them. Trust me.
You wish you'd been there.
I do wish I was there. Okay.
Who do you want to know about?
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Again?
Yes, I forgot. Tell me about yourself.
I told you, I'm a silver bird.
There's that phrase again. Really reminds you of something.
What does that mean?
It means I don't answer questions about myself.
But I'm a police officer. You have to answer me. No. There's more to you than you let on. What am I not seeing?
All right.
She picks up the tape recorder and looks you in the eye.
There is.
But what? Okay, let's go with the cop angle.
Is there a law that would stop me from lying, though?
No.
That would depend on the circumstances.
Fair
Thank
enough.
you.
I gotta respect it. I gotta respect it, right? She doesn't want us to know. She's got boundaries over certain things. Let's let her keep them. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, wait. We can try to catch the silver bird. Reaction speed? What have I got for that? Do I have anything for that? Ooh, there we go. Now we're talking. I'm gonna catch the silver bird. I'm gonna find out what's really going on. Oh. Yes! Yes! Come on, 70%er? Let's go.
O pasado de agente.
Yes.
It flutters by your ear. It's what the Zemoyaki, the Gradian community in Revachol, call a person who never breaks under interrogation. It's an organized crime term.
Passar d'argent.
Excuse me?
She casually brushes her hand through her hair.
She's attempting to remain calm, but the phrase made her flinch.
I remember now. It's a Zemlaki term for someone who won't break under questioning. An organized crime term.
What do you mean?
The silver bird. I actually am a good detective. When it all comes down to it. I just need the right gear. I just need the right fit.
All right. My father was a Zemyaki. He died years ago. He was a bad man. Not a lot of good things to say about him and what he did. He bought the family a huge house, so we got to live, at least temporarily, in a giant castle in Jamrock. And then he died.
What happened next?
What do you think? The competition came and took everything away. It was like in a war zone. So after his death, we had nothing left, and we were in danger. My mother had to change her name, mine too. We left it all behind.
Are you sure about that? What about the drug lab plan?
It was a stupid idea, and I'm still disappointed I came up with it.
Aren't there any local authorities who might look down on such activities?
I took that into account, of course. Coordinated the operation with the débardeurs. Else they might get unhappy.
Wait. What? Fucking Everart's involved? Coordinated their operation with the débardeurs. What you're saying is Everart
Not
authorized
in person,
this.
but I let him know. You can't do anything without the fat ones getting wind. It wasn't too difficult to convince him, really. It's a good thing you ended that mess, though. I felt I was turning Dadwise into a corrupt business person. Unpleasant.
Hear that? Set justice on its feet. Confront Everard.
Well, I do like playing with Everard.
Come on, this is all fine. But you don't have anything on Everard now. That's not how these things work.
Thank you for checking me reaction speed, because I would have absolutely launched into an investigation. We should confront him. Maybe we can manipulate him using the information. Fuck it!
No, I don't think it would lead anywhere with Everard. He's just going to deny it.
Do not embarrass me. Most importantly, don't embarrass me, but also don't defy my authority in front of the children.
Yeah.
Have you seen Everard?
Yes, yeah, I have. Well, I kind of just wanted to get it on the list. It doesn't mean we actually have to do anything. Yeah. Fucking Everard, though. He's got kids cooking drugs for him. What a piece of shit. Okay. Let's wrap this up here. Does Andre have anything else to say?
Oh, hey,
Hey, man. It's good to see you.
Okay, we already
Goodbye.
did that. Let's wrap this up and see what
what is
happens. All right, I talked to Egghead. He plugged in the cable. You can unmute your speaker.
Okay, but think you can ask him to turn the volume down a bit? Just in case.
You're making a lot of requests here, Suna.
Maximum!
A great smile adorns his face, larger than a red dwarf star.
Maximum is the only way!
I know it is, but could you please turn it down just this instance? Just this one time? Maximum is not the only way, okay?
Pump it to the brick! Pump it to the hard master! There's no other way! Glue style!
Glue style? Okay, there literally is no other way. The mixing desk is glued to Metsu.
Oh.
See? He pumps it to the hard master. It's hopeless.
Why do you want to turn the volume down?
Because I'm afraid that something might happen. It's an unknown phenomenon. We can always turn it back up if there's a need.
Can't turn down the hardcore!
They literally can't. I think what Egghead is trying to say is that the volume button is stuck.
Of course it is.
She shrugs, consigned to her fate.
Yeah! Permanent enlightenment! Ray of sound!
Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready?
She looks around the church.
Pumps his hand up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop.
Born ready.
Okay, it all comes down to this.
I'm ready if you two are detectives.
I'm ready.
The lieutenant nods stoically.
Kim's ready. Kim's locked in.
Not so stoically. His hand moves to the gun holster.
he's ready. He's ready for the pistola.
Suddenly, your palms are sweaty. The church seems cold and large, somehow.
Okay, it's all right. I've got my saber and my Kvalsund as well, if we need to really get down and dirty.
There's tightness in your chest. Anxiety.
Hold on for a moment. Just a moment. Oh, fuck it, let's do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute disengaged.
She lifts her hand from the keyboard. Complete silence fills the room.
No wind outside. No waves. No floorboards creaking. Total, continuous silence. This is unnatural. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you, not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly, it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate. It's out there now, in the world, made manifest.
What did we unleash?
It will devour everything.
What?
Floorboards, the glass, the streets and the people. Nothing will remain.
Guys, what's going on?
There's alarm in the man's voice as he steps back to scan the surroundings. A slight rattle like crystal clattering in the cupboard fills the air, joining the chorus.
Getting louder!
Says Noid, his eyes riveted on the strange circle of water basins.
In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling.
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
You hear Egghead yell, then something else, but his voice is growing
In
faint.
his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation. He's peaking, the worst high he's ever been on.
What's that weird rattling
The
sound?
beauty and the beat! The future of dance! Planetary!
Even my boy is freaking out.
No, Egg! It's the window!
The glass shards around Dolores' vacant heart appear to be vibrating from the sound. It almost looks as if she's
In
alive.
the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside, cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible evacuation route.
The window is going to come down! No, the roof!
Oh. Well, shit. Maybe I should have clicked on it before. A screech fills the air, a scream of wood and nails. The pillars of the church twist and creak above around
Cracks
you.
appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark.
Come down to earth! Love!
Below it, all the bass grows, like the jaws of a giant compressor gnawing on metal and wood. It does not sound benevolent at all. A great pulse arises in your flesh.
That's it. I'm muting it.
Okay, we could dance. We should stop. We could keep going. I don't know. I kind of trust Suna. No, fuck it. We've gone this far. This has all been for something. It's beautiful.
Beautiful car! Beautiful life!
Shit! It doesn't stop. Acele, have you?
The woman is furiously pressing down on her keyboard, but the sound doesn't stop.
Yes, I've turned it off.
She yells, holding the contact mic in her hand.
Andre, pull the compressor. The place is gonna come down.
Fuck! I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here. It's...
This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down.
Egghead, whatever you do, don't stop it. Let's keep going.
But then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a dangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector.
What? A fucking egg?
Egg.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore.
No! What do you mean? What do you mean it's too hardcore? Has literally everything about you been a lie this entire time?
You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time? This is what we were up against. Just erased it. Suliswolf isn't gonna believe this.
Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think you can use it.
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's a start.
Okay. Now that the intense anticipation of possibly ending the world with sound has passed, I think Egghead did the right thing. I didn't think it could get too hardcore, but I guess we did push it. Kim, did you hear that?
It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here. And you need to be very careful with it.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again.
What was that?
It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a waveform. That's what it was technically. Theoretically, I have no idea. I've never even heard of anything like this.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
You're going to write to Soliswov?
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers. If they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear.
That it wasn't her fault. Or theirs.
They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording. Although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway.
You'll have to bring them to the church. Okay, what happens now?
Stay here. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Suliswolf. Also devise further measurements.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
Just admit it. Just admit you enjoy their company.
I don't care, but thank you anyway.
I don't care. Then she reconsiders. Okay, thank you.
That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth. For her, at least.
Oh, look what we've done. We've healed
Now,
this little
I have a
strange
theory to come
community.
up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind.
Yes. And we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez. Instead of demolishing it with loud bass noise of unknown origins.
Oh, but wasn't this fun, Kim? Wasn't this worth doing?
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you, you know. The person you were knows.
What? There's more? Okay. We need logic. Logical shirt. What else we got? Logical hat. Logical glasses. Logical... Wait, no, this hat's already better. Anything else? Any logical shoes? Logical coat. I'm fucking maxing out. Oh, this is... I'm about to fucking bust open reality.
Yes, what is it?
97%er. It's related to the doomed commercial area. We've done the motorway south. We've been the cop of the apocalypse for a brief, fleeting moment. Okay, what's the solution?
You don't have to. You already have. A long time ago.
Wait, how? Yeah, we'll come back to that. How?
These thoughts formed in you somewhere, in a long-forgotten discussion, behind a kitchen table, in the evening light, drinking coffee and smoking, with a friend, and a woman. She was there too. Her hair smelled of shampoo as she was smoking.
Suna, it's the origin point of the pale.
What?
The swallow, it's how it starts. It's baby pale.
But Pale isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge.
That comforts her.
No, look up first. We're 20 meters from the very edge. What?
She looks up into the darkness under the nave, then back at you.
The pale is only an effect, a transition between the world and that.
Then what is that?
It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No.
It's less than nothing. The final rest state for reality. Imagine if all this never was.
Then the Pale is...
Simply a gradient.
But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. We're here, and the Pale is not.
One day, when it's larger, it will be.
I understand. A theory of the Pale where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes. Like a cancer or a mole. Erupting in points inside the world.
This is one of those places.
According to this, how long...
Until it starts swallowing? It's already starting with sound.
And information. Causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it's formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data?
Like on people's memories?
An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting fear aside.
Like on their emotions?
I also have a question, since we are piling them on. How do you know this? I'm not doubting you. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM...
Like on their understanding of other people?
Knows how to think this.
All of the failed businesses in the doomed commercial area. All of the failure in Martinez.
You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even, say, software development?
I thought it was all just capitalism.
She already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them.
Well, but it also could still be capitalism, but it could be like, my theory would be that the Pale sets in motion the degradation of people's empathy, causing them to care less about other people and care only about what becomes superficial forms of comfort, i.e. capitalism. Superficial forms of comfort in the form of like control and power and influence and success and margins and these sorts of things. Even the revolution was defeated here. I mean, a kind of entrepreneuric history.
I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities. But no, the artists like the milieu, the writers like the history. I told them.
I should let people still working in there know about this. They might be affected. I don't see why not.
You mean Plaisance and the dice maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up.
I don't think Plaisance would survive this knowledge. Yes, both of them deserve to know.
Then go tell them.
It didn't form in a church. The church formed around
Of
it.
course. A pine wood sarcophagus. Or a
containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers.
Where the fuck did all this come from, Harry? Like, you just whipped this shit out. Like, a sudden, like, peeling back of the layers of reality. Whereas before, we didn't even know what the Pale was. We were being, like, informed on the fly about it. And suddenly we've deduced, like, one of its origin points. The fuck, Harry? Those clothes really did a number on his intellect. Maybe this is all just coincidence. Maybe this is all just nonsense.
Yes, but still, I have considered the same. And the bad news is, there were 7 such pinewood churches built in the first decade of residential settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, or repurposed before, during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but...
Some of them might. A black grain hanging in the air.
I think I've had this thought before. That's how I know.
An amateur anthropomedic police officer. I'd like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a half a guess, however. Well worded, I might add.
Where the fuck did this come from, Harry?
Yes, it is very interesting. But I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess. One that's going to have to be proved by anthropomedic scientists.
The real eggheads will come and prove it. One day, all the world will be like that 2mm hole.
She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist.
I'm going to leave that out. But the rest, some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but...
But she clearly has an investment in, you know, the whole point of this was like, can I come up with a reason for why, like, our life project, our immortality project, to make a deep cut to an older episode, fell apart. And the Pale is inherently an existential subject, right? Like, the fear of death, the fear of not having meaning, driving behavior, sort of a terror management theory perspective. It makes sense to me that this would be comforting to know that, like, we didn't fail because we were incompetent, but because, like, there is a sort of natural limit to time and space and the, like, I guess the lasting quality of anything that we put into the world. Like, it is all temporary, but it wasn't necessarily our fault. It just is that way, which makes it a little easier to accept, maybe.
Ma'am, you will certainly someday.
One more thing. Maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space.
Perhaps not. This club is the only thing keeping this place and the rest of reality together. I can say this because I am now an anthroponetic scientist.
I wouldn't go so far as to...
Nope, it is the correct interpretation.
Yeah! The light is on in the universe. It will never go out.
Egghead literally stopped the reality from collapsing, so you gotta hand it to him.
Thank you, Egghead. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have an anthroponetic detection to perform in this district.
Okay. Well, let's ask about Ruby, because now this is like the last thing to do, really, although we've just been given several new quests to follow up on. But we are going to ask about Ruby.
What? No. No one's suspicious around here.
Okay, that's enough of that. Time to go fuck around a little bit more. Well, they got to have something to say, right?
Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you.
Goodbye.
Do they have anything to say about... I just broke open the theory of reality, and you have nothing to say? None of you? None of you have anything to say? What about Egg?
Good morning, comrade. Yeah.
I knew my boy would.
Cool.
That was a crazy sound we heard before.
Yeah. It was awesome and scary. Very hardcore.
His voice booms through the chamber, then goes silent.
Too hardcore, in fact. I couldn't control it at all.
What happened?
It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and everything around it. Completely fills up the headspace. Extreme.
Inside your chest, the heart beats still with the after effects of the sound. Imagine if you could harness that power, making it pulse.
What if this is the answer to Van Eyck's jam? We could use the sound for the bass.
But how?
What about the compressor? The one with the spiky hair was setting up to achieve some sort of parallel processing.
Ooh, we're pretty bad at interfacing, though. Okay, maybe we'll have to come back to that. All right. A kick drum pulse. The music is coming from somewhere on the ice. Watch what's happening on the ice. Something going on out here? Okay, I guess not. Well, didn't something happen with one of our thoughts? Cleaning out the rooms. We got this. Someone's been walking around in your dreams lately, looking for something. Tidying up, rearranging, storing away all the unrealized dreams. Putting old pains in boxes. The worst nightmares have settled down for a while. A spot of light on the bedroom door after the dark. The fluttering of eyelids in the spring sun. A thought that arises, only to disappear again. And yet there's a pattern emerging. Okay. I don't know what that is. We don't really need this anymore. We don't really need the perception that we needed. Does it take... It takes a skill point. Ah, that's a bummer. Why don't we just unlock a new one instead? And what should we do? I mean, there's so many of these, we'll not be able to do all of them, but I'm kind of curious about this one. What should I internalize next, chat? Should I do Wompty Dumpty, Arno Van Eyck, Homosexual Underground? There's quite a few that we could do. Cleaning out the rooms, I don't know. I know that this one has some... some loose threads that we want to follow up with eventually. Well, that actually was a pretty satisfying conclusion to a very long quest. That kind of brought together all of the themes of like helping the youth, helping the community rebuild, doing something important for ourselves, discovering meaning behind like the bigger scheme of things, and also like maybe rehabilitating the lost childhood soul of one Kim Kitsuragi, which is always worth doing. Well, with that, there's maybe a couple of things to just follow up on, just to go talk to these people, and then we're in the end game. We finally made it! We finally made it. Perhaps half a year past due, but we're here, and now it's time to actually finish the game. it's time to go look for Ruby. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll be back again for something a little more sooner this time. Now that I'm I'm past this period, I'm motivated to finish, and finish we shall. So, I'll see you again for the next episode. Till next time.